The desire to go further has been a part of the American dream since the founding of our great nation. We saw the impossible, and we made it possible. But there are those few among us who would try to pull us backwards. They underestimated us, our resilience, our resolve, our desire to look up at the heavens and never look back.
After one of the most sensational come-from-behind victories by a presidential candidate.
The Mars 7 Alliance. The agreement aims to end the competition and distrust that is historically
antitrust lawsuit brought by Exxon, Shell, and Halliburton. The company's plan.
President Wilson was sworn in, officially beginning her second term. The Republican president is the first openly gay person to hold the office.
CEO Richard Hilliard called their plasma propulsion technology a, quote, game changer, because missions will no longer have to wait for the so-called Mars window.
The survivors of the mission have safely made it back to Earth, stranded on Mars for over a year.
The first man on Mars greeted crowds celebrating his return. Lee spent months alone on Mars after his capsule crash landed on the Martian.
The first hotel has opened on the moon, available to the general public.
James Stevens testified against the defendants. Stevens struck a plea bargain agreement with prosecutors.
The ABC comedy Ellen has been renewed for a sixth.
Solicitó el divorcio de su
President
esposo.
Wilson signed the Marriage Inclusion Act, legalizing same-sex marriage, a very
The
personal
Race to Mars had its premiere tonight, starring Clint Eastwood as Ed Baldwin, Jada Pinkett as
Breakthroughs in fabrication on Mars will enable Happy Valley Base to manufacture aluminum from materials found on the Martian surface.
The successor to the Concorde, the aircraft is capable of reaching low Earth orbit and shortening
Stanley
travel.
Kubrick died today in England at the age of 70, known for
The autobiography written by CEO Eli Hobson describes how he saved Chrysler by leaning into the boom in electric vehicles.
El día 5 de la huelga de mineros en la luna Helios, sin perspectivas de
Y2K bug is wreaking havoc in Earth orbit today after clocks aboard the International Spaceport reset.
The question on everyone's mind is, will Vice President Bush be able to keep together the Wilson coalition?
In a tightly contested election, Al Gore has defeated George Bush to become the 42nd president of the United States.
L'ancienne présidente Ellen Wilson a épousé la professeure Pamela Horton lors d'une
Chaos
cérémonie.
reigns in Riyadh tonight after insurgents seized key government buildings in Saudi Arabia's capital.
The Osbournes and Moonlighters are leading the way for a new kind of television. It's being called reality TV, and it's dominating the nightly ratings.
And perestroika has transformed the once dour Russian capital into a city of light and even
Горбачева, Федор Корженко обвиняет его в предательстве коммунистической.
But the alliance between Gore and the Soviet leader shows no sign of slowing down.
As we usher in a new decade, the growing partnership between the United States and the Soviet Union, both on Earth and on Mars, is bringing a new sense of optimism to the nations of the world. Tonight, I can proudly say that the Cold War is over. Those we once thought of as our enemies have become our friends, and a new era of peace and prosperity is before us.